it'd be nice to have a mix of folks with disabilities. And in my River Rec Commission, we actually kind of stayed out what organizations or groups that we want represented on the River Rec Commission. And then we throw the caveat in, if available. Right. That way we can still fill the spot if nobody applies.
I feel that makes sense, because I mean, okay, I call on the Americans with Disability Act, but it's obvious that I can walk around and stuff like that. When we have Americans with disabilities that are in wheelchairs or quadriplegics or paraplegics, so that, to me, that makes good sense to have a, a range of individuals that have disabilities.
And gender balance.
Pardon?
And gender balance.
Yes, also.
As possible.
Yes. Gender, racial.
And reflect the community demographics.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? Any suggestions on the role of the committee? Anything that, for those that participated in that earlier conversation, anything that I missed?
I had someone mentioned to me about if someone wants to get a parking space in front of their residential home, that they would have to pay $277 a month for that to be placed in front of their home.
That's correct.
And they found that to be extremely financially detrimental to them. And that's a big concern. We've heard it in my office at Civil Rights from several different people. And I've been asked to bring that.
Stephanie, we met with Dave Ellison and Jeff Pomerantz, and those things are they're going to try to put those things onto a by individual basis, because a person who gets $670 a month cannot afford $237 for 2 poles and a sign out in front of his house. I talked with Tom Peterson about it also, and he came up with some ideas, and I think this is something that they're working on it. It's going to take some time, but I get probably 4 to 5 calls a year wanting to know what we can do for them from the PAD standpoint. And of course, we have addressed it with the city, and it's probably not getting to the right people. It's going to the person at this office up there, and that's what they're telling me, because that's what they're told. It needs to get, as I said, we've talked with Dave Ellison and Jeff Pomerantz and Tom Peterson, and they all see this situation, and they're willing to work with us on it.
Size of the committee. I think the larger the committee, the more opportunity of subcommittees to actually have little focus groups, like maybe we desperately need one for sidewalks. I can't believe all the people in wheelchairs and everything, out in the street and everything. This community is really hurting for sidewalks. So, I mean, I would think, of course, we need an odd number, but I would think no less than 11, so that could be a good opportunity for you guys to have, the subcommittee, the focus groups or whatever, yeah. And as far as scheduling goes, I've always found that if there's a set day and time, like the second Tuesday of every month at 7, and then everybody puts that on their calendar, that instead of going around and saying, well, what works for you guys, and I mean, that never works even for a group of 3.
Thank you. All right, so I'm definitely hearing very clearly that we need to make it bigger. Thank you for that. In terms of the actual makeup, I've heard look for a range of disabilities, so there's a broader perspective. Is there any other perspectives on this list that I need to add to? So right now we've got caregivers, professional service providers, architects, transportation providers, and just kind of catch all people that
How about the homeowners that are going to be impacted by the new sidewalks? Is there anybody representing them?
Homeowners, okay. She suggested people that can represent homeowners, so for sidewalk installation stuff, they can be represented. Okay. Anything on the rules that we need to add to? So we've got existing city programs and services, any new city construction projects, and city infrastructure projects. We've got, the committee will be able to direct any ADA complaints to the right groups, to the right parties, the right staff people. Monitor and track any ADA complaints that are received by the city, and then make sure that there's an annual report at the end.
I'm just curious, and I gotta ask this question because it's bugging me. When you say homeowners, in what way?
Like, I have a house on Edgewood Road that doesn't have a sidewalk in front of it, and this is the first I'm hearing about it. So, about any of this, putting sidewalks in.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. Your property may be the one that we are petitioning for.
Petitioning for?
Huh?
What do you mean by petitioning for?
Well, we're asking for a sidewalk from 33rd Avenue down.
Okay.
Because I see more and more people using the street. I travel that myself, and so our group is asking, and the city has it in their plans to have it done. And there's a lot of other Edgewood Road property that needs sidewalk. And it's just because, I mean, I want to take a minute, can I?
Yeah.
Okay, the reason why we're pushing on that one in particular is because there is no way for people with wheelchairs or motorized scooters to get down to the bank, Panera's Bakery, the restaurants, the Mercy Care South, and that's one there. There's a lot of other areas on there that have no sidewalk, that need sidewalk. I mean...
I'm just saying, I haven't been contacted about this at all, so...
Okay.
I'm just learning about it, is all. And we're going to have to pay more taxes for the sidewalk, so... I understand, yeah.
The city is in dire need of sidewalks, and we're going to be working on this for years to come. And it's because of the way the ordinances are read out over the year. But one time you didn't need sidewalk, the next time you did need sidewalk. And consequently, I mean, the landlord or the owner of the property is going to have to, you know, pay some for it too. I mean, I live a corner lot, so when I had sidewalk put in my place, I got it from both sides. But I'm glad to have it because it's nice to see people that otherwise couldn't get out to walk, able to get out.
I'm not quite sure how to suggest this rule, but it seems like that these are kind of specific things, and I think that they're all good. But it seems like that the ADA Advisory Committee might have some kind of an advocate role for people with disabilities, and that there might be, I can't think of an example, I'm sitting here, some broader issues that need to be taken to the council because people become aware of them. So it seems like there's, in terms of suggestions, recommendations, because all of the rest of these things seem very specific, and I think there's a broader role there to create, I guess it's more awareness, and also then something about dissemination of information, but maybe that can come. I mean, I think it's really important that we get started, and I'm sure that as the committee meets, that there will be a lot more awareness about maybe an enhanced role that then, I don't know what the process is for adding roles, but it seems like there should be.
Maybe we need to educate the people on the disability and the ADA rules. Because, and that's a lot of the problem right now. People are not aware that we're not in compliance in a lot of areas. So by educating the people, maybe, I don't know, public broadcasting or how we're going to do it, but educate so people know that, hey, this isn't right, you know?
Thank you. Please.
This isn't about the formation of the committee, but after you guys have the committee, this is just an idea to throw out. I have just been frustrated with the sidewalk system or lack thereof in our city, and I see a lot of kids having to walk out in the street and everything. So I just thought maybe after the committee is formed, having various open houses at schools around, you know, for the public in that community to get feedback from the parents and so forth, where just to kind of provide where there's missing sidewalk, where we really need it, where's, you know, the bus stops are, you know, I mean, because they're the ones who really know the neighborhood and really know where we need the sidewalks to protect the kids and protect people in wheelchairs, moms pushing strollers, moms and dads pushing strollers. So, you know, I just thought that would be a good avenue to get some really good feedback on the sidewalk issue.
And maybe that's the role for this committee is to, on some sort of an annual or some sort of a basis, is to hold a forum where people can give input about needs that may not come in the form of complaints. There are 2 out of these 4 things that are really dealing with complaints, which are fine, but I think that gets to the broader role that I'm trying to talk about.
More proactive.
And being proactive.
Yes,
Instead of
and sort of eliciting things that are frustrating to people so that we can figure out solutions.
when you're proactive, there's less complaints.
So you could go to the school PTAs and stuff and get them involved and bring that back to the committee.
Yeah, that's good.
Is that what you mean?
That's good too, yeah.
I guess so.
No, I didn't think of that. I was thinking of open houses at the schools with, you know, in the evening with the, inviting the parents and stuff, but that's good too. That would be a really good role to play. Have somebody be a, you know, going, representing to the PTAs and stuff. That's good.
Right, but then bring that back to the committee.
Right. Yep.
I mean, they can have their own little committees out there, and I'm sure they do in the PTAs and stuff. But, you know, having someone from the advisory committee coming out and hearing their, and then bringing it back to the committee.
It all sort of seems to fall in a category about soliciting information from the public. You do it in various ways with various publics, but...
Yeah.
Great. Well, if you have other thoughts, please send them to me, and if people have signed up, there's an email place on there. I'll send out kind of a little summary of what you guys told me today, and if you want to get a hold of me for anything else, just feel free. Again, the next steps is we'll take this to council on the 14th to create. That'll be the resolution that creates the committee, and then we'll go through the typical process to review and fill it. That'll take